Huntington Beach for TYR SoCal Wadapalooza, the TYR Cup Day 2. I've got Kyle Rolfe, Kiefer Lamy, and Becca Boyce with me. None of them can hear me because the music is so loud where we are. So they're smiling and nodding really politely, and we're going to carry on and do our best. In a couple of minutes, we've got reps ahead with Renovo coming up.
Stick around, guys. We got
First of all, we're going to come up,
have
have some highlights coming up on the show. If you guys look at the monitor here, you'll be able to see some highlights from yesterday. We've got North America versus the world. We had some action yesterday. We had some events yesterday. So, first off, Kyle, Emily, how's she feeling after yesterday? Is she happy with how things went for North America yesterday?
I don't think any of the girls from North America are happy after yesterday's event. Like, there was a complete kerfuffle with them on the floor for sure. But that's the thing. They're mainly individual athletes, so they're learning this system themselves. They brought it back together this morning, and I mean, it was a bit of a slow trudge through the sand there, but they brought it home, so it's what they need to do.
Kiefer, you've obviously got a vested interest in the world team with Gracie on that. They came in yesterday evening 2-2. I think a lot of people really didn't give them much of a shout, to be within a shout as the weekend went on. Are they happy with how things are going, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think going into any event, your goal is to win as many events as you can. But I think to be in a position where it's still close to even, and they've shown that they have a better ability to succeed as a team, as opposed to just when they're individual-based events, that I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah, that sun is so bright over your head. Becca, I cannot move on without saying what you've done in the sport is absolutely outrageous. So it took me about 15 minutes to scroll through your CrossFit Games page this morning. So this is your 16th year at the Games, 12th in your division.
Yeah.
And now you're moving up to the next division.
No.
No?
Slow down. Yeah, I have one more year actually.
One more
in this
year,
division,
okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't know if that's cool. This competition's getting harder and harder, so I've got to keep upping my game.
But it's crazy impressive to evolve with the sport. Like, as the sport has come from like grassroots, like, you know, dirt and sand and hopper, to the big lights, to the masters being split off. Like, stuff like this must be pretty cool to see from where it started.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we get back into the community aspect of it when we have things like this. But yeah, it's nice to see how much the sport has grown, especially with some of the pots, you know, the cash that's going to be kind of doled out at the end of this. That's something that we didn't have, and we, you know, are still trying to fight for and get more events who can actually financially support this. And I think it's really impressive to see how far it's gone.
Yeah. So we've got the Renovo Reps Ahead is coming up. Bella Martin caught up earlier on with the founder, and when we come back, we're going to have a little bit of a talk about what's happening with that, how it works, how it's structured. Yesterday, obviously, we had the events on yesterday. North America took a win in Event 1. That was a CrossFit Games style team of 4. Then we had the men for North America put on a pretty dominant display on the worm. They were really happy with themselves afterwards. The women from North America, not so much a dominant display, more of a bit of a schmozzle there for the ladies on that side. That was a win, so that was a point each. And then we had the lifting event. After that, during the lifting event, we had basically Guy being Guy and putting on a ridiculous display of lifting. And then we had Tia being Tia, and we had Ariel Lowen PRing 5 lifts, which was incredibly impressive, especially when she missed her first one, which, like, she missed the first one, you a bit of a wobble, but, like, Becca, that was insane, right? 5 PRs on the stage.
It's incredible, and I think it goes to say, like, the audience is probably more to blame than anything else. Not blame, but it makes it, the energy here has been electric, so I think that really fires you up. And then when you have a lot of people relying on you, you can lift really big or do incredible things. So it's been fun to watch.
It was interesting too as well. I heard that there was maybe some tactics of, well, okay, Guy and Tia will probably win, but let's make them win. Like, let's make them lift heavy and push hard, so that at least they're like exhausted by the end of it too. Kyle, is there facts there, do you think?
I think your facts are correct on that. The North America team, they just, like, at the end of the day, they were like, okay, this one is going to be Guy and Tia, and Ariel threw up a great number, like I said, 5 out of 6 lifts are PRs. So they made them work for it, which is awesome. And Jeff is always consistent in his lifting as well, so it was nice.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff missing a snatch and then hitting the power snatch immediately afterwards was pretty ridiculous. Like, then this morning we had, not live stream, but here we were all down at the beach. We had rowing, 3,000 meters on the assault rower. Then we had some burpees over the worm. Then we had some running on the beach, which, you know, like my worst nightmare. I mean, I'm walking around, I have sand everywhere. I can only imagine doing burpees over a worm. Kyle, Emily on that one, she was one of the last to leave. She was the last to leave the venue, take off on the run. And she made up serious ground on the run. How are her calves after all that running?
She's actually done a lot of work on her calves. They were sore for sure, but like we prep for that kind of stuff. But unless you actually beach run, like Jeff Bridges used to train for the SEALs with the beach run stuff, like it's a very, very unique experience, and you're going to feel it for sure.
Even just walking around here, it's so unsteady underfoot. And as I walk around stumbling, I'm thinking like, oh, these guys have to run like 3K on this. So what happened there, Kiefer, we had the guys came back, Jeff Adler, then we had Dallin came in, Aniol was behind him. So we had 3 North American guys, and it was really, those guys were really the ones that made the difference in the end, because it was the individual times added together. Tia came back ahead of the rest of the pack on the girls, and it was, she kind of bridged the gap between Grace, who was say the last to come in. Really those North American guys, they set the bar really high and like did the damage at the start. Is that fair, do you think?
Yeah, I would say the North American men overall outperformed the world men. And I think on the women's side, we saw, you know, Tia was ahead of the pack, Grace was a little behind the pack, and that sort of evens it out. But I think as a whole, the men were the reason that North America was able to pull ahead there.
All right, so we got Reps Ahead is coming up now. Bella Martin caught up with the founder. Here's a video of her chatting to him.
Phil, last time I saw you, we were in Colorado for Reps Ahead 3. Now we're in Huntington Beach for Reps Ahead 4. Tell me about how the dream has come to be on the beach here.
Yeah, Pro 3 was on the home turf, and when we set this all up, I was so excited because I'm from California, not from this area, but it's kind of like going home. I got family in town. Super excited for the event, for the venue, for the scale and the visibility, but just really excited for Reps Ahead too. I'm a fanboy, so I'm excited to watch.
I think we're all fanboys and fangirls in our own way. Reps Ahead is so unique in not only the setup and the layout with all of the athletes. Who created the concept of Reps Ahead? Was it you? It's a CrossFit UFC fight night type situation.
Who created it? I woke up with it one day. It's a long story. We're doing a docu-series about it, but I literally woke up with the idea in my head. And seeing it come to this point, the journey, and we have a long way to go, right? These things take time. You got to get the right people to it, but I think we're headed in the right direction.
I think so. You've got athletes like James Sprague and also Malachi Bennett that have done every single Reps Ahead. What is it about Reps Ahead that is so different that gets athletes like that coming back time and time again, wanting to continue to compete?
So like, there's a bunch of different things, but I think the biggest thing and why I'm proud of those guys, it's a win or a loss. Like, you don't get to walk out here, redo the workout, and like beat somebody after the fact. You got to look them in the eye, and you got to say, bro, I'm going to get 14 reps ahead of you. Good luck. And you got to go out there, and if you lose, you walk away with the loss. You can't redo stuff. You got to do a rematch. That's cool. That's super cool.
Phil, I'm excited for Reps Ahead 4. Let's head to the desk with Peter.
So, Reps Ahead is coming up. We've got 4 athletes waiting to go. So the idea of Reps Ahead is you get 12 reps ahead, you win. Or if you're ahead at the end, you win. If you were doing that, would you just go all out at the start and hope that you can just snap the band, or would you just try and hang in there to the end?
Oh, I try to hang out there till the end and see if I can outlast them.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm not an athlete, because my initial instinct is go as hard as you can for as fast as you can and hope the other person just goes, oh, okay, I'm stopping. That'd be my main thing. So coming up, we've got Reps Ahead, we've got an undercard, then we've got Jason Hopper and James Sprague, we've got Brian Friend and Shaw Woodland there upstairs ready to call the action on that. The Renova Reps Ahead is coming up after the break.
ready. Yeah, get ready. It's going down. Look at us now. You hear the scream from the crowd. It's going down. We on the prowl. This the realness we bring it right now. It's going down. It's going down. Yeah, it's about that.
Over the last 100 years, we've safeguarded the American homeland at and beyond our borders. We work tirelessly, night and day, from land, sky, and sea. And while much has changed over the past century, our commitment, determination, and mission has not, and it never will. Because we are the United States Border Patrol. Join our mission and write your own history.
Do you know where cold plunge is? Can you take me there?
Yeah, it's this way.
Hi, I'm Natasha. I am from Ukraine, but I train at North Hollywood at Strength Stats and Conditioning. Yay!
Do you like cold plunge?
No. Everyone says it will be good for me for the next event, so I'm just gonna follow the directions. It's supposed to be like fancy.
Are you feeling a little bit better?
No!
Okay.
You're all set.
Oh, I like it here now. I want to stay.
I'll stay then.
Honestly, after 2 minutes, it feels like I could stay here all day.
Don't stay more than 5.
Okay.
Good,
You convinced me, I'm out.
Okay.
Can you wrap me like a baby?
Yes, I will wrap you like a baby.
Did you see that? She wrapped me like a baby.
Woo! Let's go.
It's time for Fight Club CrossFit Style. Welcome to Reps Ahead Pro 4 presented by Renovo, the official healthcare provider of TYR WZA. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland alongside Brian Friend here in beautiful Huntington Beach, California. We have two head-to-head matchups on the card this evening. To meet the athletes, down to PC the MC, Patrick Clark, to introduce our four athletes.
Our first bout of the night is a Reps Ahead Pro 2 rematch. Our first athlete is a Reps Ahead vet with a record of 1-1 at 6 foot, 197 pounds, repping Nemesis Sports Academy, Malachi Moose Bennett. His opponent, he won the last match and comes in with a record of a perfect 1-0 at 5'8", 185 pounds, repping backcountry CrossFit, your TYR WZA Miami RX runner-up, Riley Humbringhouse.
Humbringhouse versus Bennett in our first of two matches. The event they will be facing, Brian, is Everett. 3 different movements. The goal is to get 12 reps ahead.
That's right. They got 3 rounds. To try to achieve those 12 reps, it'll be an AMRAP within each interval that always starts at the top. They'll go for 12 toes to bar, 8 box jump overs 30 inches, and 4 squat snatches at 155 pounds.
And these are two athletes who are very familiar not only with this format, but with each other.
Absolutely. The first ever Reps Ahead match that I called, these guys went head-to-head. They went the distance, and it came down to 2 reps.
We have 3 3-minute rounds with a 1-minute break between each one. If one athlete gets 12 reps ahead during one of those rounds, the match is over. But there's a high likelihood this one could go the distance given the history between these two athletes.
Yeah, they're extremely tenacious. Neither one of them came here to lose. Riley doesn't want to concede after beating him last time, and Malachi, he's out for revenge.
3, 2, 1, go!
Reps Ahead Pro 4 underway. Malachi Bennett is on the left. Riley Humbringhouse is on the right. We start with the 12 toes to bar. Before that, or after that, pardon me, it's the 8 box jump overs, and then the 155-pound barbell awaits. 4 squat snatches there.
And this is going to start slow, but it's going to escalate quickly. The first really opportunity to see what's going to happen is right here on the box. Phil gives the athletes the opportunity to rebound the box jumps if they want to. Malachi and Riley probably both knew that they would do that coming out, but right away we even see Malachi go to a couple step overs and fall a rep behind.
Humbringhouse making his way to the barbell for the first time. 4 squat snatches, 155. He's got a 1-rep lead right now on Malachi Bennett on the left side of the screen. And Malachi Bennett making his 9th appearance here in the head-to-head Reps Ahead format.
Yeah, this is only the 4th pro edition of Reps Ahead, but Phil Thomas has been testing this at what he calls the RX level around Colorado for a long time, and there is no more seasoned Reps Ahead athlete than Malachi Bennett. PC told us he's 1-1 in pro appearances, but he's 6-2 all-time in Reps Ahead matches.
1 minute of the 3 minutes have gone by here in this opening round. Both athletes neck and neck as we are now in the second round of 12 toes to bar.
The breaks have been interesting already. Jason and James will be coming up later tonight, and I know they both plan on going touch and go on those snatches to start. Singles from the start here for Riley and Malachi, and I think that's because they're expecting a long match.
Humbringhouse now with a 3-rep lead on Malachi Bennett.
And if you were listening closely to what Patrick said, this is not Riley Humbringhouse's first time on a Wodapalooza stage. He was at TYR Wodapalooza last January in the RX division where he took 2nd place. To earn that 2nd place, he won the final 3 events. Sean, you might remember some of these events. One of them had double unders, burpees, and thrusters. Gross. The other one was the back-to-back interval style workout in that chipper, and he won both parts of it. So interval style workouts and going in the pain cave is what Riley Humbringhouse has built his career upon.
1 minute remains in this first of 3 rounds. Humbringhouse back to the bar, and he's had a handful of reps lead here early on, but has yet to really start to separate himself from Malachi Bennett on the left side of the screen.
Even though this is the first of 3 rounds, we've just gotten past that 2 minute and 15 second mark, and in all the testing that Phil has done with Reps Ahead over the years, really the last 2 years, he's found that that's the breaking point for a lot of athletes. And anyone who's done Fran can probably relate to that. So let's see how they finish out this first round.
12 reps ahead, that's the number that one of these athletes need to hit in order to end this matchup. Hummerghaus to the barbell first, ahead of Malachi Bennett as we approach the final seconds here in round number 1.
And Malachi closing strong, going for the squat snatches.
And both athletes putting that 4 squat snatch in the books, and it's Malachi Bennett with a 1 rep lead over Hummerghaus. So the first lead that Bennett has had this entire competition comes at the very end of round number 1. Now a 1-minute break. You've been a part of a lot of these broadcasts. You've seen a lot of these events in person. How do these events, how do the athletes differ in the approach between this format as opposed to something that we might see in a more traditional fitness competition?
It's actually kind of perfect that it's here alongside the TYR Cup, because the TYR Cup is 2 teams and only one of them can take a point anytime they take the floor. That's exactly how reps ahead is. You don't have an opportunity to come back or to do well and get a 3rd place, a 5th place, a 2nd place, and have the best average over a period of time. You either win or you lose.
5 seconds before we start round number 2. It's Malachi Bennett on the left side with a 1 rep lead on Hummerghaus. Round 2 underway.
That first round was a microcosm of how the last match between those 2 guys was, where Riley took it to him a little bit, Malachi hung close, and then at the end he tried to make a surge. If you watch that match all the way back to the end, it was on the last set of bar muscle-ups in that sequence where Malachi went for it. He actually slipped off the bar, and it allowed Riley to hang on to a narrow lead. But in that first 3 minutes, we saw Malachi do something similar. He just hung close and pounced at the end.
Malachi Bennett has stretched his lead a couple of reps here on these box jump overs. 8 reps here. And now to the 155-pound barbell for 4 squat snatches. This is the first of 2 matchups that we'll have for you here in the Reps Ahead Pro 4. Coming up after this, it's the defending CrossFit Games champion, James Sprague, taking on Jason Hopper.
Yeah, that's going to be a match that I think everyone's been looking forward to. Those 2 guys, not only similar athletes, similar ages, similar experience in the sport, but also friends, and have been giving each other a hard time in the run-up to this.
And like Malachi Bennett, James Sprague is a guy who's really familiar with this format as well.
This will be the 4th Reps Ahead Pro match, and James Sprague has been a fixture at all 4 of those.
Still pretty much dead even now here in the second of 3 3-minute rounds, as Malachi Bennett came into this round with a 1 rep lead over Hummerghaus, and now it's Hummerghaus who has got his biggest lead right now of the competition. He's stretched it to 6.
We haven't mentioned it yet, but definitely a factor in this workout is the grip, going from those those snatches into the toes to bar. And I'm not sure about the decision to make the break there by Malachi was grip dependent, but he's given away all 5 of those reps on the toes to bar.
He's quickly recouping those reps as Hummerghaus gets to the barbell.
And how quickly Malachi picks up this barbell here is everything in this match, because if Riley's got 1 more snatch to go, and he's going to go to the toes to bar where he can rip off 12 quick, and you look the urgency. If he starts jogging towards the rig, yes, he knows that blood is in the water, and this is a chance to close it out in the 2nd round.
45 seconds left to go in this 3-minute round. Hummerghaus now has a chance, as Brian just said, to build on that lead. The largest he's had is 6. It's now up to 7. And this could be it for Hummerghaus. As Bennett's hustling back to the bar, he's not going to have enough time. Riley Hummerghaus had it. He got to 12, and it was over. Riley Hummerghaus in round 2, 12 reps ahead of Malachi Bennett to take this first of 2 matchups in Reps Ahead Pro 4.
And it came down to 1 break on the toes to bar. That was all the opening that Riley needed. He was able to get through the squat snatches, and once he got to the toes to bar, 1 unbroken set propelled him to that victory.
Riley Hummerghaus, 12 reps ahead in the closing seconds of round 2 to bring home the victory.
And right at the end, we actually got a good look at something that Phil instructs these athletes to do, which is to compete through the whistle. I don't know how clear it was, but he blows a whistle on the floor when the match is over. But it can flicker between 11 and 12 a couple times. He just says, keep going. You'll know when it's over.
Let's send it down to the floor. Bella Martin with your match winner, Riley Humringhouse.
Riley, you've just won Reps Ahead 4 here on the Huntington Beach Wodapalooza SoCal stage. Is this a little bit more special than competing as an athlete on Wodapalooza? What's that feeling like?
It's different. The crowd is still here just like it is in Wodapalooza, but you know all eyes are on you. You know you get screen time. You know you get everybody watching you. They see your every move. They see how you're resting, and that's exhilarating. I love it.
This is a new sequence for Reps Ahead. What did you think about strategizing this one? It obviously paid off for you. In that first round, you were already getting ahead. You kind of took the momentum. What was the strategy for this specific sequence for you?
Is go at a speed that as long as I could stay unbroken on toes to bar and rebound the box jumps, I knew I was going to be okay. So it's just monitor the snatches to make that happen.
Now let's see, if we're going Reps Ahead 5, do you want to go against Malachi again, or who do we want to go against in our next Reps Ahead match?
Yeah, Malachi wouldn't be bad. I guess it wouldn't be terrible going 3-0.
You heard it here first, 3-0 from Riley Humringhouse. Thank you. See you later, Sean.
Riley Humringhouse takes the first of 2 matches, does it in round 2, gets 12 reps ahead of Malachi Bennett. And Brian, coming into the second round, Malachi Bennett had a lead, but we saw that quickly disappear, and we saw how costly just one ill-timed break can be.
Yeah, throughout most of the first round, Riley had that small lead. Malachi made a little move late, and then in the second round, it looked to be more of the same until Malachi broke on that set of toes to bar. He took a little bit longer than I expected, and when everything was said and done, that was really all that Riley needed to take home his second consecutive victory against Bennett.
And he did it on the box jump overs in the final seconds of the second of 3 rounds, so a win for Riley Humringhouse.
Over the course of the matches today and tomorrow, we have 4 Reps Ahead veterans, 4 Reps Ahead newcomers. That urgency at the end, the running to the toes bar, the running to the box, that's the sign of someone who understands the format. And if you haven't noticed the big screens that are behind them and also the one on the rig, Riley's looking at that and realizing now is the time and it's now or never.
1 match down, 1 match remains. We're going to take a break. When we come back, James Sprague taking on Jason Hopper. Stay with us as Reps Ahead Pro 4 continues in Huntington Beach, California. It is time for the main event as Reps Ahead Pro 4 presented by Renovo, the official healthcare provider of TYR Wadapalooza, continues here in Huntington Beach, California. I'm Sean Woodland with Brian Friend. Two games veterans set to go head to head. PC the MC has the intros.
Weighing 210 pounds, repping launch mode CrossFit and Brute, the 2024 CrossFit Games champion, James, you got Sprague! Two-minutes athlete.
Sprague and Hopper. I don't know what you gave Patrick before this, but we need some of that in the booth.
He puts on the shades, he turns the head around, he turns into a different guy out there.
Let's talk about what is at hand in case you missed the opening matchup between Humringhouse and Bennett. 3 rounds, 3 minutes on, 1 minute off of Everett.
12 toes to bar, 8 box jump overs, 30 inches for the guys tonight, 4 squat snatches at 155. Cycle through it as many times as you can, and if at any point you're able to get 12 reps ahead, you knock out the opponent.
We have 2 athletes that are very familiar with the spotlight, but only one of them has been in this format before. That is James Sprague. Jason Hopper, new to the Reps Ahead format.
Absolutely. James Sprague has been at all 4 pro matches now. He's 2-1. He beat Tyler Eggemon in the first one. He beat Nick Matthew in the third one. His only loss came against these two guys, good buddy Dallin Pepper, and that one went really right down to the wire anyway.
We'll see if Jason Hopper can put another blemish on James Sprague's record here.
30 seconds.
Had a lot of opportunity to talk to both of these guys this weekend, and there's friendly banter and back and forth, but in a second you're about to see the game face to switch on. Neither of these guys came here to lose tonight.
Are you ready to burn it down? 10 seconds. 9, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
First round underway. Sprague versus Hopper. We had a second round knockout in our opening card as Malachi Bennett could not catch up to Riley Humringhouse late in round number 2. Humringhouse 12 reps ahead to end that match.
Yeah, and these two guys, I don't think that we're going to see the deliberation on the barbell that we saw with Malachi and Riley. Both of these guys are probably going to be going touch and go from the start on those squat snatches, and both of them also choosing to rebound those box jumps. As we told them, they have the option there, and clearly there is the potential to make up some time if the other guy chooses not to.
Dead even as the two get to the barbell at the same time. 4 squat snatches at 155, and Sprague choosing to go touch and go. On the left side of your screen, Hopper dropping the bar each time, and Sprague's going to make his way back to the pull-up bar. Hopper right behind him.
Caught me off guard there. I thought they'd both go for it. Jason not really taking his hands off the bar, but just that little grip reprieve. And the longer this match goes, the more that could potentially play in his favor.
James Sprague now with had a 2-rep lead. Now that has disappeared as Hopper continues to work as Sprague takes a break. So 3 minutes in this first round, then a 1-minute break. Hopper off first just ahead of Sprague, and he will get right to work now on those 8 box jump overs at 30 inches.
As far as the two athletes go, in the run-up to this, they were talking a lot about a specific workout from the games, the Dickey's triplet, that they thought would kind of parallel the feeling that they'd have on this competition floor. Well, they were first and second on that one.
Sprague and Hopper back to the barbell for the second time here in round 1. And Sprague's going to go touch and go again. Hopper choosing to just resituate his grip.
And the time that Jason gave away by doing this in the first interval of the sequence was made up because James took a break on the toes to bar and Jason didn't. I know Jason prides himself on being amongst the best in the world when it comes to toes to bar, and his grip endurance is right up there as well.
And that lead that Sprague built is tenuous at best now as he's back on the pull-up bar for the 12 toes to bar. 45 seconds now left to go in round 1.
And I'm hopefully you guys got to see the first match, because even as close as it is right now, we just got to see, thanks to Riley and Malachi, that one little decision here or there could end up swinging this thing from being neck and neck to over in a matter of 30 seconds.
Well, Jason Hopper had his first lead now of the first round.
And in that first match we talked about, once you get past that 215, 220 mark, the totality of the work hits you a little bit. And we saw, not that they were really stepping off the box or anything like that, but the cycle rate was a little bit slower the third time on the box jump over.
Sprague continuing to go touch and go. Hopper using the same approach that he has used here in this first round. And now in the final couple of seconds, looks like Sprague is going to get 2 reps up on Hopper heading into round number 2.
And that looked eerily similar to the first round of the first match, even coming down to the lanes that they're in, where Bennett was lagging behind, pulled 1 rep ahead at the end. Sprague played the same card against Jason, rushed to the pull-up bar, and he'll have a small advantage heading into round 2.
And you do take that lead that you built into the next round. You do not reset the score here. So right now it's James Sprague with a 2-rep lead on Jason Hopper.
If you're just watching Rep Set for the first time, James will carry that 2-rep lead into this round. Both athletes will start back at the top of the sequence. So even though he's done those 2 toes to bar, he'll still have to do 12 in the opening interval.
Final seconds here in the first rest interval.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Round 2 underway. James Sprague with just a 2-rep lead on Jason Hopper. 12 is the number you need to get ahead of your opponent in order to end the match.
3 movements here in the sequence and 3 critical things that we'll be looking for in this second round is the fatigue section. Will Sprague continue to break on the toes to bar? Will Jason at some point cycle those squat snatches faster? And who's able to maintain the faster cycle rate on the box jump overs?
Jason Hopper starting to cut into James' lead. Now James has it back up to 2. It's been the biggest lead so far that we've seen. Now both men to the barbell for the 4 squat snatches at 155 pounds. Hopper getting to work just before Sprague.
Touch and go again.
We have some pretty good history on these athletes, and if you were just isolating the movements, Jason would hold an advantage in his career on the toes to bar. James has a slight advantage when it comes to box jump overs and squat snatches in workouts throughout their competitive careers.
2 minutes remain in round number 2. James Sprague now up to 3 reps ahead of Jason Hopper. But as you said, Brian, James has been taking a break on this portion of the event. Does it again.
Yeah, the
Hopper
first
has a chance to erase that deficit, and he does.
The first set he holds on, but the second and third sets in the first round he broke, and we see him break here again.
Now
and
Hopper has a chance to open up a lead.
Jason rushing to that box, and I like to see that. Just when you see a little bit of a crack, that's when you can kind of assert your dominance. In this sport in general, fitness, these athletes are very aware of what each other are doing. And when you see someone with a little burst of energy, if you don't feel like you have that, that can add a little mental layer of defeat.
Jason Hopper is about a rep ahead of James Sprague as he got to the barbell first. And now Sprague breaking on the barbell for the first time. Hopper's done. Less than a minute to go here in round number 2.
Jason should be able to close the deficit here, especially if James comes off this bar. Jason should have an advantage going into the third round.
And now Hopper has put himself in front. Came into this round with a 2-rep deficit and has now made that up. 12 reps here on the toes to bar. Another break for Sprague. Hopper continuing to work, and he will now move to the box, and this is where Humringhouse was able to score the knockout on Malachi Bennett.
It's almost the exact second that Humringhouse knocked him out, and it's an opportunity for Jason to get a lead that he might need going into this final interval.
Hopper to the barbell. Now Sprague continues to break. Round is over. And James Sprague had a 2-rep lead after round 1. That is now down to a 1-rep lead as we have another minute break. And then we'll start the third and final round. This one looks like it might come down to the distance.
It may go the distance, it may go to decision, but another good opportunity for first-time watchers of Reps Ahead to see what can happen there. You might be looking, why is Jason behind? He beat James on that round. He beat him by 1 squat snatch, but he had a 2-rep deficit to start. So over total reps, James still has a minor lead.
25 seconds.
James Sprague in his 4th Reps Ahead match, record of 2-1. First time we've seen Jason Hopper here in this format. 10 seconds remain before we start the third and final round.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Round 3 underway. See if James Sprague can hang on.
They just gotta hold on for 3.
And now there's nothing else to lose. Like, you know, you don't have to game it so much anymore. You know it's 1 rep, you know it's 3 minutes, and it's going to be over either way. So those little nuances that we've seen throughout, the breaks, the touch and go or not, cycling the box jumps faster, this is where you kind of throw caution to the wind.
And now Jason Hopper has pulled even with Sprague. And now Hopper trying to build a lead of his own, but Sprague is picking up the pace on those box jump overs. You are allowed to rebound these in the Reps Ahead format.
And that proficiency on toes to bar and with the grip endurance that we talked about, the known commodity of Jason Hopper has proven to be the case so far. He has not broken on those toes to bar, and if they get to the toes to bar at the end of this, that might be the opportunity that he needs to, you know, reduce that 1-rep deficit.
Sprague just clinging now to a 2-rep lead as he gets done with that set of 4 ahead of Hopper. Sprague's going to be to the pull-up bar first here as there's 2 minutes remaining in round number 3.
I feel like every time I think that Jason's going to make the move, James responds. He went for a faster set of touch-and-go snatches there than he had in the entirety of the second round of this match.
And now a break for Sprague, and Hopper puts himself in the lead by 2 reps. Another break for Sprague. This could be the opening that Hopper needs as he gets to the box jump overs.
Well, for Jason now, he's got to ask himself the question, am I going for a knockout or am I going for the win? And he's being a first-time a rookie athlete here at Reps Ahead. We'll see how well he manages the situation.
1 rep lead now for Jason Hopper. Remember, Sprague came in with a 1 rep lead to this round. Hopper to the barbell first. 4 reps here at 155 on the squat snatch.
And James went back to that really fast cycle rate on the rebounding box jumps to try to hang close to Jason, and he's holding onto the bar again.
Now touch and go for James Sprague as he tries to get the win here in the final minute of the final round. Back to the pull-up bar for 12 more. Hopper is going to go right to the pull-up bar. Sprague takes a break to chalk, and now we are dead even again.
I definitely would have lost the bet if I said that you told me that someone was going to chalk right there.
And now a break for Sprague. Hopper building his lead, the biggest one we've seen for him so far. He's up to 4. Another break for Sprague. Less than 30 remains. Hopper to the box.
Jason Hopper's toes to bar have been incredible throughout this match.
Jason Hopper now with 20 seconds. Might not have enough time to score the knockout, but if he keeps this pace, he could win the match. Here comes Sprague. Sprague has been faster on this portion of the event. Hopper to the barbell. And it's going to wind up as a tie. Remember, Sprague had the lead coming into the final round. Dead even between Jason Hopper and James Sprague.
Well, and this is what I was talking about. I don't think that Jason remembered that he was 1 rep behind to start the round. He did the 1 squat snatch thinking that would be enough. And I mean, we should also mention, these guys are spent. This is a very nasty sequence. Phil spent a lot of time testing it, and he knew that it would be physically demanding. So the lack of awareness there at the end is understandable from a fatigue perspective, but also from being a rookie in this format.
9 minutes of work was not enough to decide it as Jason Hopper and James Sprague wind up in a tie here in the main event of Reps Ahead Pro 4.
The whole run up to this, everyone's been asking me for a pick. You didn't actually ask me on the air, and I didn't know who to pick because James's experience and proficiency in this format is very good. His fitness clearly is as good as it's ever been. But this is a good combination of movements for Jason, and man, after 9 minutes and 3 rounds, I cannot believe that.
Let's take a look back, and it was right here on the pull-up bar, as you mentioned. Jason Hopper's proficiency on the toes to bar are what kept him in this because Sprague kept breaking on that portion of the match.
And the stats that Barkley provided was what ended up holding true in terms of the way this played out. James on paper should have had an advantage on the box and the barbell. Jason should have had the biggest advantage on the toes to bar. And here we go.
Let's go down to the floor. Bella Martin right now with James Sprague as Jason Hopper's trying to appeal to the crowd to get himself the win.
I'm down here with James. The only person to ever beat James in Reps Ahead is Dallin Pepper, and you've just made it a tie with Jason. Jason's trying to get the crowd vote here. We weren't going to get a knockout in this one. It came down to the toe to bar. According to Phil, Jason came off the box first, which means Jason Hopper is now joining Dallin as the only athlete to beat James Sprague. Real-time results. We'll give him his minute.
Get you over here. Come on. You gotta talk to Bella. Bella's got a couple questions for you, J-Hop.
There we go.
Fans come first. Fans come first.
Fans come first. Were we going for a knockout or were we going for a win in this third and final round of the sequence?
Honestly, I was trying to play defense and let the champ throw the punches and kind of dodge. And he's been in Hawaii. He just won the games. He just got married. the last thing he's thinking about is beating me, and that's the only thing I'm thinking about is beating him.
Well, that's interesting. I heard you were thinking about you were losing. I heard James was the calm one going into this one.
He was. I get nervous for everything. I hate losing. I'm a competitor at heart. So if we're rolling dice, I'm nervous about it.
You're a competitor at heart. Now, who do you want to go in the next reps ahead? Now that you're the champion, who's going to make it that reigning champion? Go against Dallin?
I want everybody on the podium.
You heard it here first. Jason Hopper, winner of reps ahead number 4, wanting everyone on the podium. All right, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Jason Hopper by decision.
Yeah, it's the 4th reps ahead match. As far as I know, that's the first pro match that's come down to a tie. Phil saying decision goes to Jason for coming off the box first there at the end. And I think that, he earned it. And I think that he executed his game plan well. He said he was playing defense. He watched what James was doing. And even though it was his first appearance out here, I think he managed this scenario like a veteran.
And we will have 2 more reps ahead matches tomorrow from TYR Wadapalooza SoCal. Coming up next, TYR Cup action continues. Thanks for joining us, everybody, for Reps Ahead Pro 4. We'll see you in a few minutes. Team North America taking on the world on day 2 of the TYR Cup.
New double chopped salads, now with chicken or Baja shrimp, only at El Pollo Loco.
The workout was a burner. It was a lot. The assault row was super cool.
I'm out of Armor CrossFit in Orlando. I'm a mom of 4. This is my first Wadapalooza, so I love it. I love the assault runner.
Elizabeth Lane from Salt Lake City, Utah. The assault rower is rough. It's hard going into each interval. You just kind of got to pace it. So that's what you do. Hope everybody else did the same.
I like the assault runner a lot. It's very taxing on your hamstrings. I'm in the 16 to 18 boys team division, representing CrossFit 970 in Northern Colorado.
My name is Felipe Garilla. I came from Spain, Indian CrossFit. It's my first time with assault rower. It was good, and I like it.
Jackson, Mississippi, CrossFit 601. Oh, it's so hard. Today's tough.
I think that the more consistently you use the plunge, the more you start to crave it. Your body wants that feeling, whether it's the cold itself or the way that you feel after. I definitely feel like I'm big on celebrating small wins, whether it's in the gym, here at home, in relationships, and so the accomplishment of getting in the cold plunge, staying in for whatever time you've set for yourself is one of those small wins for me. CrossFit by nature puts a lot of wear and tear on your body. We're doing such a variety of movements, lifting heavy weights, which can take its toll on your muscles and joints around your knees and back. With access to cold plunge every day of the week, I feel like the consistent treatment of those aches and pains allows me to feel better and train harder.
Whoop. Sleep better, train smarter, recover faster, and feel healthier. Understand and optimize your sleep. Get coaching and insights for every age, stage, and cycle. Track over 140 habits. Get a 360 view of your training and workouts. Never miss a second of data with a wireless and waterproof charger. Expect all new features all the time.
The best in the world takes center stage in Huntington Beach as night 2 of the TYR Cup is set to begin. Event 5 is presented by the U.S. Army and the official partner of TYR WZA. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. It's North America versus
Team World.
North America has the lead as the athletes take the floor for night 2.
Athlete number 2 for Team North America. Come on, here we go. Ariel Owen. Your next athlete for Team World, Brett Fakowski. Number 3 athlete for Team North America. Come on out, Justin Medeiros. Your 3rd athlete for Team World, Sierra Kaya. Another gentleman for Team North America. Come on, here we go. Dallin Pepper. Your next athlete for Team World, Guy Marinos. One more time for the ladies' side of things. Team North America, welcome on out, Alexis Raptis. Your next athlete for Team World, Emma Tall. Another female athlete, Team North America. Welcome out, Emily Rolfe. SoCal makes it. Your co-captain for Team North America, Patty V. Patrick Heather. Your first co-captain representing Team World, BKG, Bjorgvin Karl Gudmundson. Rounding out your athletes for Team North America, final co-captain, make some noise for Danielle Brandon. And your final member of Team World, co-captain, Tia-Clair Toomey. That is your TYR Cup athletes. And up onto the big screen.
16 of the best athletes in the world, North America versus Team World. And coming into this event, it's a 1-point lead for North America. Chase, event 5, if you're a fan of high-skill gymnastics, you're going to love this.
Oh, you're absolutely going to love it. And the athletes are going to love it, too. This is such a fun event. 2 minutes with 3 different movements. 2 of them will repeat twice. Max rope climbs, max freestanding handstand push-ups into max string muscle-ups, and then work your way back down the line. You're going to get a 1-minute break in between. Now, something to note, on the max freestanding handstand push-ups, it's 3 reps for 1 total rep.
1 man, 1 woman from each team will be competing in this event. The total score for each team will be tabulated. Whoever has more reps will earn the point. Keys to event 5.
Don't get ugly early. What I mean by that is don't go to failure in the first half of this event. The rope climbs and the freestanding handstand push-ups are going to tax that thing you'll see in the center part of your screen, and that's those ring muscle-ups. Maximize the back half of this event.
1 man and 1 woman from each team will be taking on this event. For the women, it's going to be Alexis Raptis taking up on Tia Toomey, and send it down to Bella Martin for more.
Was chatting with Alexis Raptis earlier. I asked, how did you get into the position of doing this event tonight here? And she said, well, I was the most confident on my team in all of these movements and all of the volume that was going to be required of me. And then she followed that up with, well, I was confident until I learned I was going against Tia-Clair Toomey. So I think that's kind of the name of the game here this weekend for all the ladies for North America. They're incredibly confident, incredibly talented and fit, and then they're going against the 7-time reigning champion, Tia-Clair Toomey. So we'll see how it goes, see if that confidence can maintain her on the floor for Raptis.
Well, I think one thing Alexis Raptis needs to be confident about is her ability to be inverted and doing well in that position. Because when you look at the freestanding handstand push-up specifically, if there's one chink in the armor for Tia-Clair Toomey, it is inverted pressing movements or a handstand walk. So Alexis Raptis' strength versus, I don't need to call it a weakness for Tia-Clair Toomey, but her not strength maybe between the two of them. So she should be confident in this.
Tia Toomey for Team World so far has competed in every single event.
We talked about it last night, is why not? She's the greatest to ever do it. You're a 7-time champion. There's nothing she's inherently bad at when it comes to this. What I'm looking for Tia in this particular test is that the ring muscle-ups is where she's going to separate herself from everybody else.
Alexis Raptis versus Tia Toomey. Score coming in again. North America 3, the world 2. First round is underway. 2 minutes for max rope climbs. There'll be a minute rest between each station.
And they get to use their feet, which for speed, there's an element of going too fast and you'll mess up your foot grab. When you're doing high volume rope climbs, I get it, it's an upper body pulling movement, but you want to think climb with your feet, not with your arms. Those ring muscle ups in the middle are going to get extremely taxed by these rope climbs. And again, on the freestanding handstand push-ups. And the hardest thing about ring muscle-ups for volume and fatigue is the lockout, the press out of the dip. So save the arms by climbing with the legs.
And Tia Toomey right now is 1 rep ahead of Alexis Raptis. She has 7 to Raptis' 6. We are 1 minute in this 2-minute window here.
See, Tia, her feet are getting a little tangled up, and when you try to climb too fast, sometimes when you pull your feet up, you kick the rope away from your feet. The other way is on the way down. That rope can double wrap around your foot and cause you to get stuck. So you got to make sure that you stay smooth on the climbs and you're not out of control.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
30 seconds left now in the window. It's a 1 minute rest after this, and then we move to those max freestanding handstand push-ups, pardon me. For the men, it's going to be Guy Mayeros taking on Pat Vellner. Guy representing the world team, Vellner for North America.
Which is really cool because Guy took on the spotlight event last night in the lifting event, and now he's coming back to the gymnastics event.
And that's the end of the round. So it's Tia Toomey who accumulates 15 reps to 14 for Alexis Raptis. We'll have the 1 minute break. And now the freestanding handstand push-ups. And as you mentioned, Chase, 3 reps. You have to complete a circuit of 3 to get a score of 1. A little confusing, but just keep that in mind.
Yeah, so you have to do 3, let's say, handstand push-ups to get 1 rep. And with that, if this is a strength for you, this is an opportunity. Because look, it's 1 rep. They're only set by 1 rep for 15 climbs at 14. I would say we're probably going to get less total reps because of this format here. So where you probably thought you could make the most of your effort, it's going to take a lot more than that just to get a rep ahead on each other.
They will start with 3 minutes on the clock, and each section on the floor that is denoted by the yellow lines will count as 1 rep. We're underway.
Just stay smooth. You don't have to race this. This is more about finding a rhythm than racing as fast as you can.
So far, Raptis on the left, Toomey on the right, dead even, and Toomey's going to take a break. Here goes Alexis Raptis, who's almost through her 3rd section, now into the 4th section on the floor.
And you got to get them all in a row too, Sean, so you can't just do 2 and come down, even though they're going straight across.
Raptis takes a spill, but she is ahead of Toomey. She's through 4 sections, so 4 reps.
Every 3 is 1 rep.
And now Raptis is through the 5th and final section. She'll make the turn, and we're all tied up at 19 reps apiece.
It took her about 40 seconds to get through 1 entire length, which is good for 5 reps. It's about right on pace for rope climb. So even though it's 3 for 1, if they can keep this pace, it makes it very comparable to the rope climb reps that they were doing.
So at 5 minutes is when this round will end. 2 minutes per round, and then that 1 minute break. Raptis taking a break here. She's 1 up now on Toomey. Each of those sections denoted by the yellow lines counts as 1 rep. So 3 reps per section.
30 seconds, ladies. Stay moving.
30 seconds left. And then we will move to the muscle ups.
And this is where the, I don't know if she's going to get that entire rep. She's going to have to start over. This is the business decision. Is it worth putting yourself into that hole for 3 reps just to get 1, knowing that this is going to tax your muscle ups extremely?
The Raptors grab the chalk. Tia's already heading to the rig. Alexis Raptis now up by 2 on the 7-time CrossFit Games champion. So as you mentioned, Alexis Raptis may be rolling the dice a little bit here.
Oh, one of those keys was don't get ugly early. Not only are you coming back to this for the 2nd time, you are going to the rings, where, as I said before, the most taxing part of the ring muscle up is not getting on top of it. For us normal people, maybe that's the case, but for these elite athletes, it's not. It's the dip and press out. Ring muscle-ups are one of those movements that are actually harder on the lockout than it is on the pull over, even though it seems like an upper body gymnastics pulling movement.
They will start at the 6-minute mark, so 10 seconds before this 2-minute round, and this is the only movement here they will do 1 time.
This is where Tia is going to have to make a move on Alexis, because even under fatigue, Alexis is probably going to be better than Tia when they come back to the handstand push-ups. But Tia-Clair Toomey is one of the best in the sport when it comes to high volume ring muscle-ups. Very short break.
Raptis is trying to hang on to that lead, but Toomey has erased it for the most part.
And Alexis doesn't need to beat Tia here. She's confident in her handstand push-ups coming back for the 2nd round. She's just got to keep it close.
For the men who are slated to go for North America, Pat Vellner for the world team, Guy Majeros. The 8-minute mark, this round will be over. Then it's back to the freestanding handstand push-ups. Toomey is with the world team back in front here now, 2 reps up on Raptis.
Raptis brings on the rings, the champ eyeing up the rings.
Okay, that's the 2 reps. So Tia's actually gained 4 reps on Raptis.
A 3-2 lead going into this event is North America with 30 seconds remaining, athletes.
Quick break for Toomey. Shocking up the hands. Raptis is off, and now less than 30 seconds to go.
TYR WZA SoCal is putting on quite a show as these top-tier athletes chipping away at ring muscle up with 15 seconds. Tia.
Toomey back to work, 15 seconds to go. She's now up.
Alexis
4
has
reps.
to get at least 1 here before the time's up.
3, 2, 1, rest and transition.
Ooh. That round is over. It's a 4-rep lead as we head back to the freestanding handstand push-ups, and we'll see what Raptis has left in the tank, because she was able to beat Toomey a few minutes ago here.
Yeah, well, and one thing to remember is that last night in the very first event with the stair-step handstand walks, Alexis Raptis was having a bit of trouble navigating that once she got under fatigue.
30 seconds, ladies.
30 seconds left before we start our 2nd and final round of freestanding handstand push-ups, and then we'll finish with the rope climbs. Then the men will come out. Total combined score will determine the winner.
Tia with that 4-rep lead on Raptis. Now, she was behind by 2, so she gained 6 on her during the rings.
All right, can Alexis catch up Team North America, or has
The 2nd and final round of the freestanding handstand push-ups. Raptis takes a break. Tia continuing to work here. And now Raptis into round 3. Toomey's going to break.
And freestanding handstand push-ups with a handstand walk. That's one of those things that we're not really paying attention to, but it's all about time under tension in that inverted position. And if Raptis can just move a little quicker, that's just going to be less time in that inverted position for her.
Raptis has shaved a rep off that lead. It's now down to 3.
Just about a minute, 10 seconds remaining. Look at the save from Raptis to hang on.
Raptis is through, but Toomey will get that lead back to 4 now with a minute left.
Now here's the thing, Raptis was a rep behind on the rope climb, so this is really her last opportunity because there's not going to be as much separation on the rope as you could potentially get here on the handstand push-ups.
Shoulders have got to be smoked at this point as we head into that final round.
Raptis trying to just keep with Tia here. Now another fall for Alexis Raptis. Less than 30 to go here. The lead is now 5 for Toomey. Looking to build on that here, and we still have 2 minutes of rope climbs remaining after this.
Tia looks so strong here in the last 15 seconds of this.
Tia looks like she's going to call it. She'll head back to the rope. Now a 5-rep lead going into the final round of rope climbs. We'll start that at the 12-minute mark.
Well, I don't think it's a weakness anymore for Tia Toomey.
I don't ever think I've heard that word used in association with anything Tia does.
Yeah, I mean, that's
it's all relative.
That's thing from something like 5 years ago where that could have been something where she didn't do as well in. But when you're as fit as Tia Toomey, that's basically all we can do is just sometimes conjure up some potential hole in the game. But when you're so good at everything else, you can actually take the time to spend more time on your weaknesses and knowing that you don't really have to be as well-rounded in your training as you need to when you're as fit as Tia-Clair Toomey.
We saw Brent Fikowski trying to give a little advice to Tia Toomey as we're set for the final round. 2 minutes for max rope climbs again, and then the men take over. Pat Vellner going up against Guy Majeros.
Don't lose another rep to Tia in these final 2 minutes. Maybe try to get one more and set up your teammate as best as you can, because as you said, Sean, it is total reps combined. 99.9% positive that is the case still currently.
And remember the score coming into this, North America with a 1-point lead on the world team. They came into the day tied at 2, but North America won the event earlier today that took place out on the beach to add another point to their total to lead 3-2 coming into the nighttime events. But still a 5-rep lead for Tia Toomey as we now have a little more than a minute to go in this final round.
A 6-rep lead.
Now that's up to 6.
Turnaround for the champ.
Once Toomey makes a touch here.
Trying to extend that lead before we bring on the
Raptis just trying to keep Toomey within reach here and hand a manageable deficit over to Pat Vellner.
Tia-Clair Toomey, Team North America, Alexis Raptis, Team World out in front. A head-to-head matchup, Joshy G. We got 30 seconds remaining. Come on, Search City, let's
Raptis came in down 5. Now she is down 6 reps to Toomey.
with about 20 seconds remaining. Tia on top. Alexis holding strong. Set the stage for the fellas.
Final 15 seconds.
You guys at home watching rope climbs, watch Tia tuck her heels right underneath her hips as soon as she gets that foot grab. That allows you to really lean on your legs a lot more than your arms.
And it's going to be a 7-rep deficit that Pat Vellner is going to have to make up as he takes on Guy Majeros here in event 5.
Well, we saw where the potential of that is it's going to come down to the rings. Can you stabilize, or can you have the stamina on the rings to make up some ground on your opponent? But for Pat Vellner, the question is, how is that overhead stamina going to hold up on the second half of this?
Tia Toomey, who's taken the floor in every single event so far here in the TYR Cup. As we take a look back at the opening stages of this, and Toomey was more efficient on the rope climbs early, but Alexis Raptis threw some punches here on the freestanding handstand push-ups and had a lead going into the muscle.
Tia had 1 on her after the first set of rope climbs, and Raptis got 3 on her on the handstand walk, going up by 2 into the ring muscle-ups. But as we thought would happen is just that Tia's muscle-up stamina and able to just hold on really the last 30 to 40 seconds. And that's where athletes can separate themselves, is how well can you sustain that when you're tired. Everybody's going to climb great for the first minute. It's what's going to happen in the second minute.
Tia Toomey, 7-rep lead. Send it down to Bellamart.
Alexis, we talked earlier today. You were saying you were on this team and you were the most confident going into this event. You went out really hot. Was that the game plan, and did it pay off for you?
I don't know if it paid off, but I'm glad I took the risk.
Tia, you came back from a little bit of a deficit in those handstand push-ups, and then you did exactly what the fittest woman on earth would do. Last night, fittest in the strength event. Now you're going to be the fittest in the gymnastics event for the women. Did you go out with the intention of, I'm going to burn it all down, I'm going to just show off everything I can, or just get enough of a lead so that our guys can hang on?
No, I definitely tried to burn it down, get as big of a lead, but you know, you never really know with that type of workout. You can only go as fast as basically your muscles allow you to. Definitely felt the rope climbs in the free handstand push-ups on the first round, but definitely was able to pull it back in at the end.
Now, Alexis, you have one of the most talented gymnasts on your team about to go out for the men's side. What's the final piece of advice you have for Pat Vellner before he heads up on that rope?
Just smooth as steady. Yeah, don't sprint the first set of rope climbs.
Well, we'll see if North America can get it going. Thanks, ladies.
Yeah.
All right, 10 seconds, gentlemen. 9
to start, 8 to start for the guys. Stand by. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go strong.
And the men are now underway. It's Pat Vellner for North America taking on Guy Majeros for the world team. Vellner's got to make up 7 reps to tie, 8 to give his team another win.
You don't have to make up 7 in the first 2 minutes, as Alexis Raptis was saying, is that don't sprint the first rope climbs. And that was part of our keys to success here, Sean, is that don't get ugly early, which means don't put yourself in a hole in the first 2 minutes. When you have 8 total minutes of this left to go, save some for the way back.
Guy Majeros is looking to extend the lead here. Vellner's just trying to keep it at 7 here. It's the first 2-minute interval. After this, we go to the freestanding handstand push-ups.
Okay, Guy came out very fast in that first minute, and we're talking about this at the end of the women's portion of this, is that it's not about how the first minute goes. 2 minutes at this intensity is a very long time, and it's a very taxing thing to do. And once you start getting to the ground and having to rest 5 seconds per rep, you do that in the last minute, you're losing a potential of 1 or 2 reps that wasn't worth it in the first 60 seconds.
Well, 30 seconds remaining here in this opening 2-minute round. The 19-minute mark is when they will rest, and it's still a 6-rep lead.
See, Pat is hopping up just a little bit faster than Guy.
The Vellner's managed to shave a couple off of that deficit right now. Final 5 seconds.
3, 2, 1. Oh,
And that'll do it as our game clock on the screen a little bit ahead of the official clock down on the floor. So it's now 81-76, a 5-rep lead. Vellner makes up 2 as we head to the freestanding handstand push-ups, the first of 2 rounds here on this movement.
And this is where Guy might have a slight edge on Vellner. Vellner is great on his hands, but everybody thinks about Guy and it's like, all right, lifting, snatch, clean and jerk, strength, speed. But Guy's got very good gymnastics as well. I mean, you remember back in 2022, what he did on that inverted medley was he was one of the guys that nearly finished that entire event along with Justin Medeiros.
10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
We're underway, 2 minutes here. And remember, every section on the floor is worth 1 rep. There's 5 total sections. They'll get to the end, turn around. Guy Maieros continuing to work as Vellner takes a quick break.
This is where Guy's strength, just with lifts in general, can be a great weapon for him as long as he doesn't put himself into a hole early by going too hard too soon.
Well, Guy has managed to get that lead now back up to 7 as he made quick work of that first round of 5. Vellner another break as Guy is back to work. And now Guy just got hit with a no rep. He's going to have to go back to the beginning. And if you fail in the middle, you got to go back to the beginning of the section. Vellner is through his first 5 as Maieros is working his way back down. The lead was 5 coming into this portion. Guy is looking to get that back to 6 or 7.
I think Guy was just getting a little out of control in his balance on the reps.
Here comes Pat Vellner.
Wow.
Able to hang on to that one nicely as Vellner.
But what that is just time lost and energy wasted. Now being in the middle, it's almost worth doing what you can to hold on to that rep, especially if you're on your second one.
And
First rep, I'd say come down.
And Guy's starting to fail here. The lead is still at 5.
10 seconds, gentlemen.
The final seconds here in this round, and then we'll head to the rings for the muscle-ups.
That's big. That's big for Pat. To catch up like that and not lose a single rep on the inverted pressing movement, which when Pat gets tired, that's one of the more challenging things for him as an athlete. But what Pat's very good at is ring muscle-ups and upper body pulling gymnastics.
Vellner came in down 7 reps to the world team, and now it is down to 5. First and only time that we're going to do the muscle-ups here in this portion.
After watching this as an athlete, seeing the girls go, is that you have to know this is going to be your biggest opportunity to either close the gap or extend it on your competitor. So Pat Vellner, who picked up about, I think it was 2 climbs on the first half, should be better suited for the end than Guy is. Pat is great at interval-style events, but he needs to maximize the opportunities, and this is going to be his biggest chance to close the gap on Guy Maieros.
And here we go. A 5-rep lead. Can Team World hold on as Guy
2 minutes to amass as many reps as you can here on the ring muscle-ups.
You just got to thread that needle as how many consecutive reps is too many. If you're an athlete, knowing you've got 2 minutes to go, is I would think of, if I do a rep, I ask myself, can I do 2 more without failing? If the answer is no, come off the rings, shake it out, and rest just a little bit.
Well, Maieros is taking a break, so Vellner has a chance to really take a chunk out of that lead. And now it's down to 3 reps. Now Vellner with a break. Maieros continues to work.
Now, when Pat came down, actually, that was a heck of a grab for rings just swinging around like that.
Now another break for Maieros. Tia Toomey, left side of your screen, coaching Guy through this as Vellner's gotten it down to 3 reps, got as close as 2, but now he'll break.
50 seconds remaining. He resting it up. Vellner. His opportunity to catch
Pat working again now. About 40 seconds remaining here in this round.
I think for Vellner, I had to come down, wait till about 15 seconds left to go, and see if you can get maybe 4.
Guy with another break.
Got to get up. He's already on the rings. You got to get up.
He's
even if you
again.
fail.
Lead back up to 5 for the world team.
All right, he's down, so you got to hold on here. You got to hold on here. Oh.
And now a no rep for Vellner.
That was a big rep for Guy. So Guy didn't lose any ground to Pat Vellner on that. And then Vellner failed that last one. Now he failed on the turnover, so it wasn't a press out fail. And this is where the questions are going to get answered. Did we go out too hot? Did I pace this correctly? Can I pace this correctly in the next 2 minutes?
30 seconds, fellas. 30 seconds.
We'll start at the 26-minute mark. We're back to the freestanding handstand push-ups. The lead remains at 5 reps for the world team.
So they tied on reps on the first 2 minutes here. Pat got 2 reps on the first set of rope climbs. I don't think he's gonna get 5 if all things stay the same. So this might be Pat's last chance to really close the gap on Guy Malheiros.
Malheiros got to work early, and Vellner's already failed his first attempt. So he gets through 2 sections. Now he's going to break. Vellner is through 1. And now Pat, another no rep. Guy Malheiros looking to rack up another rep. And he will get there and take a break. Vellner now down 6.
I really like how Guy starts each section, because you'll see athletes will kick up into a fully locked out handstand, walk over their mat to start, but watch what Guy does. He'll basically put his head down on the mat and then start the rep. That's just, it'll save you just a little bit.
Malheiros through his first set of 5, and the lead is now 6 as Vellner's taking another break. Back to work here, and not able to complete it. This is big for Guy Malheiros and the world team, looking to knot things up at 3 points apiece with 2 events remaining here this evening.
And this is what we were worried is going to happen for Pat Vellner is, again, just that upper body fatigue that tends to happen.
And now Guy fails. Final 20 seconds as Vellner's looking to get through this section cleanly. If he doesn't make it, he's got to retreat back to that yellow line, and he will get through. And here goes Guy Malheiros looking to get that lead back up to 6. And he does, and he is going to call it there. Get himself a few extra seconds of rest as he goes back to the rope. So it's a 6-rep lead as we head into the final 2-minute round. Max rope climbs here.
The one thing Guy can't do is start too fast. You don't, if you were just to casually climb ropes next to Pat Vellner and he sends it, you cannot make up 6 reps. You can't do it. So just climb the rope comfortably, good technique with your legs, and don't put yourself in a position where you can potentially fail, or you lose a foot grab, or you blow up your grip. Just move constantly, perfectly for 2 minutes, and you have it in the bag. But if you go out like a bat out of hell in the first 60 seconds, you could do something that could jeopardize this 6-rep lead for your team.
And it doesn't matter if you win by 6, if you win by 1. Just win, get that point, tie things up, and go into the next 2 events.
See that? Like, you don't need to climb that fast. You'll be just fine.
Pat Vellner's the one who really needs to push the pace here if he wants to.
Pat needs to gamble a bit, but there's only so much you can do where rope climbs are only so fast. You can speed up the descent. We've seen a lot of athletes do that fire pole slide down that Ben and Rich were so good at pioneering, that a lot of athletes have been working on.
It's still a 6-rep lead for the world team.
Honestly, it would be super cool if like he just stopped at a minute and then just watched.
Well, less than a minute to go here in this final round. The world team looking to knot things up at 3 points apiece. Vellner's just going to run out of time here. Guimaeros, as you mentioned, Chase, is just doing everything he needs to do to just maintain a lead.
And think long term for Guy as well, is that there's no reason to put yourself into a physical hole at the moment. As we're what, halfway through, just about, after this one?
The final 10 seconds, and it's going to be Guimaeros and Tia Toomey. We're going to bring home an event win for the world team, and we are all knotted up at 3 apiece. Tia Toomey got the lead. Guimaeros hangs on to it, and it's another event win for the world team here. Another spotlight event and another spotlight event win for Guimaeros.
Guy started really fast on the rope climbs, but it was Pat's stamina on that got him a couple reps back for Team North America. Then they knotted up even on the first round of handstand push-ups. Now in the second round, Guy started to just need to slow down a little bit during that second minute or second half of the minute. And on the rings, Guy was able to just keep it even with Pat Vellner, getting that final rep at the buzzer. And then Vellner just couldn't close on the second half of the handstand walks, where Guy got a couple of reps on him. And then is able to just keep a rep or 2 ahead of Vellner the entire time. And then when they got to the rope, there's just not going to close in 6 reps in 2 minutes on rope climbs.
Let's send it down to Bellamart.
Pat, as an individual athlete, it's not often you come into a workout at a disadvantage. What did you have to kind of get over mentally to try to catch up to Team World going into this one? Looked like things were going your way on the way down, and then things on the way back got a little bit spicy.
I mean, I'm used to it because every event at the games, I'm kind of at a disadvantage already. So it's not uncharted territory, but it means you kind of have to take a risk. So I tried to keep it pretty controlled and then be a bit more aggressive than I would on the muscle-ups, and paid for it a little bit. And I think you can take one look at Guy, and his arms are like twice the size of mine. So I knew the handstand push-ups on the way back would be a bit of a problem, and lost some steam there. I'm good on the rope climbs at the end, but I needed to make a move in the muscle-ups and the handstands. And when you have to take a risk to have a chance, you have to do it. So, you know, it doesn't always pan out, and it sort of burnt out at the end.
It was a very risky move. You got to a point where you're failing a little bit. Is that something that you're used to doing in competition, especially when it's just 1v1 like this?
It's interesting when it's one-on-one, but you have to keep in mind the total reps, right? So it's not enough for me to race Guy. And like, I know that. Like, I have to be picking up reps whenever and wherever I can. But I don't know. I mean, failing's not uncommon for us. Like, in training, we fail all the time. And like, we do that so that...
I don't fail.
So imagine how good he could be.
Now, Guy, you say you don't fail, and not only did Team World pick up the weightlifting last night, you just picked up the gymnastics spotlight. So let's talk a little bit more trash here. How does it feel that Team World has both the strongest and the most gymnasty athletes in the world here on the floor?
Too much sugar and shit, right, Danielle? Surprise, surprise! That's it. Nope.
It's just too bad it's a CrossFit competition.
Huh?
It's too bad it's a CrossFit competition and not just weightlifting and skills.
No problem. And by the end of the day, this is a point, the other one is a point, so that's it.
I'll take your bet on it. I'll take your bet on it.
All right, boys, simmer down. We got a lot of fitness left to go. Thank you, boys.
Don't simmer down. Turn that up. Turn that
Remember
up.
last night we were talking about, yeah, it's friendly now.
Exactly, exactly. Also, dear Guy Majeros, start running more. And then we might see some more things in the CrossFit competition, as Pat Vellner said.
Well, after 5, we're all knotted up. 3 points apiece for the world and North America. 1 event down tonight, 2 events remain, and shots are starting to be fired. Stay with us, everybody, as our coverage continues at TYR WZA SoCal in Huntington Beach, California.
Get ready. Yeah, get ready. It's going down. Look at us now. You hear the screams from the crowd. It's going down. We on the prowl. It's the realness we bring it right now. It's going down. It's going down. Yeah, it's about that.
tied up after 5 events, and we are set for event number 6, presented by Renovo, the official healthcare provider of TYR WZA. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I am Sean Woodland alongside Chase Ingham, and Bella Martin is down on the competition floor. 3 points apiece after the world team picks up the win in the last event, courtesy of Tia Toomey and Guy Majeros. But we're handing things over now to the teams of 4, and we're working in pairs.
2 men, 2 women, working in pairs, as you said, Sean. And this is going to be same-sex pairs as we start with D-ball over the yoke, 72 weighted GHD sit-ups, so they'll alternate passing off a med ball. Ping pong wall ball shots. I'm excited to see how that gets done. And a 72 cal ski where then it's going to split 36 to 36, and then the men go in reverse order.
Keys to event 6.
You got to stay focused more than just being fit, because you're working with your partner. Those ping pong wall ball shots, you just can't be fast. On the women, you got to sprint that ski, but the men finishing on the D-ball just got to pick it up and throw it over.
Send it down to Bella Martin.
I wanted to pick the brain of the professor earlier on how they got these teams in the pairings for this specific workout. And he said it came down to who they chose for the previous event and then the one that's coming next. He said that, yes, he's one of the fittest on the team, especially when it comes to doing midline work and when it really just comes to suck it up and sucking through it. But he said it came to this one that it just happens to be simple, and that's all they got to do.
Here are the lineups for each team. It's Medeiros, Pepper, Rolfe, and Lowen taking on BKG, Fakowski, Emmental, and Grace Walton. Women out first. We start with those 72 D-balls over the yoke. They'll perform 36 on one yoke before moving to the second. They just got to pass it back and forth, weighs 100 pounds.
It's a lot of transitions. There's a lot of opportunity to lose time, whether it's getting a bad handle on the D-ball, getting it stuck on top the yoke when you pass it over. So just being smooth and consistent on these first 36. Then they got to race to the next yoke for their second set of 36. And this is where I say staying focused over being fit. There's a lot of times if you're up by yourself, you can just pick it up and toss it over. But if you toss it too far and now your partner has to chase the ball, you're losing focus. If you throw the med ball in the GHD when your partner's not ready, we're losing focus. The ping pong wall ball shots is really when all of that's going to come into play.
North America right now is making quicker work of this first set of 36 than their world counterparts. As Emily Rolfe and Ariel Lowen are 3 reps up on Emmental and Grace Walton.
But look at the positioning between Emily Rolfe and Ariel Lowen. They're not just split on each side of the yoke, but they're split away from each other. So they're dropping the ball in front of their partner as they do it versus at their feet where they have to move backwards to get out of the way.
Well, now World is ahead. So the scoring hat on top of the screen is off as they will advance at 36. The World team has the lead right now by a couple of reps, probably 2 or 3 reps. Emmental and Grace Walton on their final set.
And Emmental on the right side of the yoke. She's so good with pulling upper body movements. One of the best in the sport at legless rope climbs. And if you have that type of strength, you don't need to fiddle with the ball and try to get a good grip on it. You can just get your hands on it, pick it up, and throw it over. It's only 100 pounds, which is really not as heavy for the women as 150 is for the men.
All knotted up, 3 points apiece for Team World and Team North America. Co-captain Tia-Clair Toomey. Coaching from the side.
The World team looking to maintain that lead on this portion of the event. After this, it's the 72 weighted GHD sit-ups. So final 3 reps now for the World team on the right side of your screen.
And how they just pick it up and toss it over. And that grip thing I was talking about is Emily Rolfe just has to slide her hands under it just a little bit each time, and that's losing split seconds per rep when you total that up. it adds up.
On the way to GHC, they need to pass that med ball between each other. 20-pound med ball for the women. And now Lowen and Rolf have gotten started on their set on the far side of the floor from what you're looking at now.
Now this isn't too physically demanding because you get to rest while your partner does the work, so you're not just sprinting 72 together or 36 consecutively in a row. But this is where one mishap can have a massive impact. You throw that ball too low, it bounces off the edge of the GHD and shoots off to the side. You're gonna have to run and chase the ball. So paying attention, focusing on what you're supposed to be doing. This is gonna be more about execution and saving seconds versus trying to sprint past the other team.
Tia-Clair and Grace Walton continuing to maintain the lead that they built on the opening portion of this event. After this, we'll move to the wall ball for those ping pong style wall balls. Something you don't see too much in a team competition.
Maybe on like a Saturday fun day morning at the CrossFit gym, but I'm excited to see this come out here at the TYR Cup. Emma Tall and Gracie Walton throwing the ball right where you need it to be, about chest level to the hand, so you just ride it back. What you don't want to do is throw it too low where you have to catch it, pick it up, and go back. And for the total volume, again, you lose a half a second a rep times 36. 10 to 15 seconds you can lose just by having a bad toss to your partner.
Meanwhile, Rolf and Lowen have had a pretty good pace here, but haven't been able to catch Walton and Tall and erase that deficit on this portion of the event. But we will see what happens on those ping pong wall balls.
But 4 to 3 reps on this is not as long as it would be on the D-ball over the yoke. So that cycle rate could help them close the gap a little bit. You're only halfway through after this portion of the event anyways. There's a lot left to go, and you think about what Emily Rolfe can be able to do on the wall balls, you're not going to have much separation. That ball's not coming down.
It's a 3-rep lead for the world team now as they head to the ping pong wall balls. With 72 reps here. Now Lowen and Rolfe have gotten started as well.
There's not going to be a whole lot of ground gained or lost unless you just have a mishap. You throw that ball in the bottom of the target and it shoots down, you got to go chase it. You drop the ball. You don't want to get a no rep. That's really the only thing that's going to happen. You're not going to speed up on anybody, but you can slow down. So good quality reps, good rhythm. It's actually an opportunity for these athletes to catch their breath, because one med ball at a time, you're going to be able to rest just a little bit. The same thing we saw at the GHD. And as we said for our keys to success, Sean, is that it's going to come down to how hard you can send the ski erg. And one of the nice things about the ski erg is that it's one of those movements that, or machines that you can really lay into and not have too much detriment. But the nice thing is that you're done after this. So it's going to come down to how hard they can push the ski before the men start.
The world team maintaining that lead here. Guimaraes right there trying to help out Emma Tall and Grace Walton. And you mentioned the skier coming up next. Each woman just needs to complete 36 calories. It's not 72 each, it's just 36 each for 72 total. And then once they are done with that, the men will come running across the floor and they will start on the ski erg and do this in reverse order.
And they should approach the ski erg a bit differently than the women finish with the ski erg as far as the intensity concerned. And the only element of strategy coming up that is left for the women is who's going to take the first leg on the 36.
For the second straight event, it looks like the world women are going to hand off a lead to the men, and we'll see if BKG and Brent Fikowski can hang on to it and grab their first lead of the competition in the overall standing. It's tied at 3 right now. And now Tall and Walton
side by
getting to work.
side. All right.
And here come Lowen and Rolf.
Not too far behind. But again, both guys can't get let out until both women are finished.
We'll see how many times Emily Rolf looks over to her right to try to see what Grace Walton's pulling on her screen.
Honestly, it doesn't matter. Just pull the handles as hard as you can.
Team World with about 15 calories in a piece. Looking for 36.
Right, this is all you got left. You're not coming back. This isn't the middle part. Send the ski.
14 calories.
North America is catching up here. They're only a couple calories back.
The crowd getting behind these athletes, the coaches, the teammates getting behind these athletes. Let's make some
Pat Vellner and Jeff Adler back there trying to help out Lowen and Rolf.
North America at 22 calories. Josh wants complete. They're going to tag off the gentleman.
We'll keep an eye on the judge's hands to see who hand goes in the air. Now we got a judge's hand in the air for Grace Walton.
We know Grace can crank on a machine based off her performance in Firestorm at the CrossFit Games this year.
The world's done. They're going to go tag in Bjorgvin Karl Gudmundson and Brent Fikowski. North America is now finished, and here comes Emily Rolf as Ariel Lowen is still working. Fikowski and Gudmundson onto the floor. They will start on the ski erg. Here comes Ariel Lowen. So Pepper and Medeiros now have to catch up to Bjorgvin Karl Gudmundson and Brent Fikowski.
They're about 15 seconds behind Team World.
As Fikowski and BKG in the driver's seat for Team World. Fikowski hitting that concept.
See, Fikowski has that unique double stroke and takes a break. I saw it at the CrossFit Games this year. As he tends to mix up techniques. We'll see the same thing on wall ball shots where he swings his arm out. And classic Brent Fikowski is just finding unique ways to do pretty common things.
Interesting to know, too, that both Dallin Pepper and Justin Medeiros or Gudmundson have those on.
Part of that is down to what the focus was, what I said for the men. It's going to be those last D-ball over the yokes, because 150 is a much tougher task for the men than a 100-pound one is for the women. But we saw this last night, Sean, is that as the temperature drops out here in Huntington Beach, is that the med ball or any surface starts to get a little bit of dew on it, so it gets a little slippery. But to that as well, is that wearing gloves actually protects your fingernails a bit, and that'll save you some hesitancy to pick up that ball as fast as you can, not going to snag it on the rubber because you don't have your fingers exposed.
Well, Medeiros and Pepper have really cut into that lead, and they were only a couple reps back of Fikowski and Gudmundson coming into the ping pong wall balls.
So you've already caught up some time. Stay smooth. Get every single rep done correctly. Get below parallel. Get it above the line. Make sure you hit it off the face in a certain position.
TYR WZA SoCal, TYR Cup are just getting better and better. They are getting more exciting as the weekend goes on.
In North America, it looks like they might have the lead now, as Dallin Pepper and Justin Medeiros continue to work through these ping pong wall balls. 72 total reps, and then it's on to those GHD sit-ups.
All right, I'm going to help some people out. How do you make wall ball shots faster? To squeeze out every second you can possibly get. The one thing you can do is actually to receive that ball nearly in the bottom of the squat. So if
you wanted to say the other word right there.
Yeah, I did, yeah. I think I can say catch when it comes to med balls, Coach B, if you're watching. But to ride it down before you catch it. But what you'll see some athletes do is they'll catch it and then squat. That will be much slower than receiving it at the bottom. And Dallin is doing that a little bit, where he catches and goes down. But watch Fikowski on the right side of your screen. The ball's coming. He's already squatting before he catches the ball. That is really the only way you can possibly make a wall ball shot faster.
And the pace does look to be quicker for the North American team. Dallin Pepper and Justin Medeiros. Guimaraes looking on. He helped his team earn that win in the prior event and tie things up at 3 points apiece. Judges' hands in the air for the North America team. And now Pepper and Medeiros with a slight lead over Fikowski and Bjorgvin Karl Gudmundson as we start the 72 GHD sit-ups. They're going to pass that D-ball between each other.
I mean, that's a decent toss with a 30-pound ball to your partner. Keep the throw high. You want to aim for the chin-chest area when you toss that med ball. And that's going to help. I mean, it's really going to help launch your teammate off the back of the GHD a little bit. If you throw too low, like if you throw at the abs or the stomach, they're going to have to catch it and reach over your head. But if you can throw it high and they can ride it down, again, saving seconds, really it's tenths of seconds, but you add that up over the course of 72 reps, you can extend the lead just a little bit more like you did on the wall ball shots.
So I think the last time we saw any kind of med ball being thrown from a GHD was back in 2013 at the CrossFit Games at the track at Carson.
I saw that. We saw the GHD toss, at least on the individual side. We saw a couple of these on the team side in the soccer stadium, which is one of my favorite clips of all time, where one teammate wasn't paying attention to the ball coming, and we got one of those slow motion drills into the beak.
Grace Walton and Guimaraes looking on.
I like how you can have your teammates out here. Just, I mean, at the same, like cheering for them, letting them know where they are, which is something we don't see in any other competition, is that you can walk to the other side of the floor and be like, hey, they're 3 reps ahead of us. So at least now we know, versus just sitting there in space.
Oh, now we get a drop.
Well.
That's huge. That's going to be big. First time we've seen that, as Brent Fikowski's going to hop out of that thing and get back to work.
That was the worry. That's the focus part of this, outside of your fitness level, which is part of our keys here, is little mistakes. But I will say this, Sean, no matter what has happened over the last 3 movements, that D-ball at the end, back and forth for 100, there is still a lot of event left to go, even though it's just 1 movement left.
You see Tia Toomey in the back in that black hoodie. This is the first event in which she has not competed.
16 minutes in. 6 minutes.
And that would be huge if the world team can somehow find a way to win this event without her in the lineup. The judge's hand in the air for the North America team as Justin Medeiros and Dallin Pepper put the finishing touches on this set of 72. And then they will move to the yoke and that 150-pound ball.
And this is why they have the gloves. If you've ever think about picking up a D-ball or a heavy sandbag off the floor on rubber matting, the fingernails to slide your hands underneath. You see how they slide their fingers under and pick it up? Those gloves are going to protect that. So then you don't have any hesitancy to pick up the ball as fast as you can. These gloves they've been wearing have been precisely made for this movement.
Well, North America got through about 11 reps before Fikowski and Bjorgvin Karl Gudmundson got to this portion of the event. 36 on this yoke, then they'll move forward and do 36 on that final yoke, then cross the finish line.
See, Dallin Pepper just picks it up and tosses over, where Justin will slide in his hands and lap it. Now, if I was one of the coaches on the other side seeing that for Team World, basically what we saw Emma Tall and Gracie Walton doing, where they just picked it up. They didn't have to have a good grip and toss it over. That would be their only chance to possibly make up some time if Justin keeps doing that technique, because it is slower than just grabbing and tossing. Now, it's also harder to do to just pick up and throw a 150-pound D-ball over a yoke like that.
Medeiros and Pepper continue to make quick work of that ball. They've maintained pretty much the same pace throughout the first half of this final movement, and now they're inside 4 reps to go before they will advance to the second and final yoke and perform 36 more repetitions, looking to bring home the win and retake the lead. They have never trailed on the scoreboard in this competition. And they are done. 36 remain for Dallin Pepper and Justin Medeiros. Meanwhile, in the background, you can see Guimai Eros and Grace Walton are there, trying to help out with the chalk with Fikowski and Bjorgvin Karl Gudmundson. And Fikowski just, I think, waved off Majeros with some chalk there, as Pepper and Medeiros are on their final set of 36.
Well, and look at the difference between what Justin and Dallin are wearing and what Pat and BKG are wearing. They're wearing gloves and forearm mid-length sweatbands. Well, you don't need that for a skier. You don't need that for a med ball. You don't need that for a GHD. You need that for this event when you're at your most fatigued, when you're sweaty, when you're tired. Well, Fikowski and BKG have none of that. So they're sweating all over their hands. They're sweating all over their forehands. And there's no time to chalk in an event like this. So this is a massive miscalculation of what the importance of the event was between BKG and Brent Fikowski. Which honestly, I'm very surprised, knowing how meticulous Brent is when it comes to dissecting events. This is a huge mistake for Team World.
Bjorgvin Karl Gudmundson and Brent Fikowski trying to catch the men on the left. They had the lead coming in, but Ariel Lowen and Emily Rolfe did a great job on the ski erg in the final portion of their leg of this to really tighten that gap to give Medeiros and Pepper a shot. They erased that deficit pretty quickly when they got on the floor.
And they came onto the floor with a 15-second deficit and nearly made that up on the ski erg alone.
The judge's hand in the air now for Justin Medeiros and Dallin Pepper, looking to pick up the event win and put the North America team back in front. And Fikowski and Gudmundson are just going to run out of time here. Final rep, Justin Medeiros has it up and over. Dallin Pepper and Justin Medeiros across the finish line. And North America answers. They are back in front, 4-3. One event remains this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for all of our.
And we're going to have some cool head-to-head races.
Yeah. Honestly, by the way this weekend's gone so far, who knows what's going to happen in the event we have coming up. But Team World on the right side got ahead of North America early on the D-ball, just how quick they could pass that off back and forth. And pretty much maintain that lead after the D-ball through the GHDs once they got started. No issues with the pass, no drops of the med ball. North America might have closed a little bit of time on the GHDs, but then once you get to the med balls, unless you're going to get a no rep or you miss a target, you're really not going to make as much ground up on this position as you can. And then once they got done to the skier, because they just sold everything they could possibly sell on the final ski, and that gave them, at least gave Team World, a 15-second edge on Team North America.
But this is where North America really made up the gap on that skier. Medeiros and Pepper get on the floor, and it was dead even after this.
It was, I mean, to make up 15 seconds on 36 cals between the two is quite impressive, and they extended their lead just a little bit on the GHDs, but there was the mistake with BKG dropping that med ball in between him and Brent Fikowski, which really open up the door for Dallin Pepper and Justin Medeiros. And then between the two of them, as I said, it was going to come down to how fast they could cycle the D-balls. The way they had it set up is they didn't have to chalk, they didn't have to take a break, and it's because the gloves and the sweatbands and the shirts, honestly, to not get that D-ball slippery at the end.
Second event win of the day for North America. They lead 4-3. Let's send it down to Bella Martin with the North America team.
Team North America, we needed that win. Ariel, I thought it looked fun. You said it was fun because you guys won this event overall. But when it comes to doing ping pong wall balls, kind of med ball tosses with a GHD, how much more fun is that than doing that all by yourself?
It's so much more fun. And it's fun when your partner's really good and you get to just like try and catch the people next to you.
Emily, you guys had a pretty solid communication plan going as you're going through each of the individual movements. Did you already communicate that beforehand, or was that on the fly, just adjusting as you needed to?
Yeah, I don't think we spoke a word to each other during the workout. It was kind of all planned, and then we just went and did it with a few blunders.
With a few blunders. I mean, that's fine. It worked out well. Now, Dallin, you've got a lot of gear on. Typically, when we see CrossFit, you guys have no shirts on. Less is more approach. Today we have more chalk, we have grips, we have forearm sweatbands, we have belts, we have gloves for the first time that I've seen this weekend. We've got an Airwave in your ear, that's the newest mouthpiece. What was the strategy here? Whose idea was all of this?
Well, if you can't tell, I sweat profusely, and we knew that'd be a problem with the D-ball because it's not a sandbag, and so Justin and I agreed. We both brought gloves just ready for it and just avoid any inconveniences in the workout.
Team North America, we needed the point. Congratulations.
Dallin Pepper, Justin Medeiros, Emily Rolfe, and Ariel Lowen picking up the event win for North America. They lead 4-3 heading into the final event of the evening. It's going to be a fun one. Stay with us, everybody, as the TYR Cup continues here in Huntington Beach.
New double chopped salads, now with chicken or Baja shrimp, only at El Pollo Loco.
The workout was a burner. It was a lot. The assault row was super cool.
I'm out of Armor CrossFit in Orlando. I'm a mom of 4. This is my first Wodapalooza, so I love it. I love the assault runner.
Elizabeth Lane from Salt Lake City, Utah. The assault rower is rough. It's hard. Going into each interval, you just kind of got to pace it. So that's what you do. Hope everybody else did the same.
I like the assault runner a lot. It's very taxing on your hamstrings. I'm in the 16 to 18 boys team division, representing CrossFit 970 in Northern Colorado.
My name is Felipe Garilla. I came from Spain, Indian CrossFit. It's my first time with assault rower. It was good, and I like it.
Jackson, Mississippi, CrossFit 601. It's so hard. Today's tough.
I think that the more consistently you use the plunge, the more you start to crave it. Your body wants that feeling, whether it's the cold itself or the way that you feel after. I definitely feel like I'm big on celebrating small wins, whether it's in the gym, here at home, in relationships, and so the accomplishment of getting in the cold plunge, staying in for whatever time you've set for yourself is one of those small wins for me. CrossFit by nature puts a lot of wear and tear on your body. We're doing such a variety of movements, lifting heavy weights, which can take its toll on your muscles and joints around your knees and back. With access to cold plunge every day of the week, I feel like the consistent treatment of those aches and pains allows me to feel better and train harder.
Whoop. Sleep better, train smarter, recover faster, and feel healthier. Understand and optimize your sleep. Get coaching and insights for every age, stage, and cycle. Track over 140 habits Get a 360 view of your training and workouts. Never miss a second of data with a wireless and waterproof charger. Expect all new features all the time.
One event remains in the TYR Cup here in day number 2 of the competition. It's event 7, time to go head-to-head in the bar muscle-up clean ladder, and it is presented by Rogue. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. Bella Martin is down on the sidelines. We'll hear from her in a second. North America, courtesy of their win in the prior event, now has the 1-point lead that they came into the day with. This one's going to be a lot of fun as we're going to pair off. We're going to go head-to-head.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. So it's female 1 versus female 1. They'll go male, male, female, female, male, male, all the way through. The bar muscle-ups start at 21 with a clean ladder. Then they drop to 15 with a heavier clean ladder. And then 9 with the heaviest clean ladder we have between the two. One, I would say, event point per win, and then whoever has the most wins between the 6 takes the point overall.
Let's talk keys to event number 7 here.
Speed and execution. There's nothing really separating these athletes at the elite division that they are, but beware the bouncing bar. One misstep could decide who wins or loses.
Let's bring in Bella Martin down on the floor.
Athletes, how they decided who was going on which of the bars and in which order today, and they said it came down to just pure strength. The bar muscle-ups, not necessarily a no factor, but it came down to who was stronger and who was going to be able to get through the bar faster. That's exactly how they came down to it, and we'll see if that strategy pays off specifically for Team World, guys.
First out for North America is going to be Danielle Brandon. She's taking on Sarah Kaya. 21 bar muscle-ups to start, and then 5 cleans starting at 155 pounds and increasing 10 pounds on every barbell.
Stand by.
First matchup underway. We start with those 21 bar muscle-ups.
It's not a question of, oh, can they hang on? They can hold on. It's just 21 reps. But it's going to come down to, can you execute quickly? So getting a no rep here is where it will lose you time versus trying to out-sprint someone on the bar muscle-up. One thing I'm curious about is how those grips are going to play a factor in racing to the barbell? Are they just going to usually you'll see them turn behind their wrists as quickly as can, or you're not going to waste the time to do that.
Brandon and Kaya pretty much neck and neck here on this set of 21. Neither one has broken. And now Brandon off with 1 to go.
Oh,
Kaya's done, and she'll move to the barbell ahead of Danielle Brandon. Kaya's already through her first clean at 155. We'll see if Brandon can catch up here. Kaya through 165. Here comes Brandon. 2 remain for Sayer Kaya. She's through 170, now to 175. Going to squat clean that, now to 180 for Sayer Kaya.
Just got to go for it. Can't wait.
Brandon is on her heels. Kaya will hit it. Brandon power cleans, and it's going to be Sayer Kaya taking matchup number 1 for the world team.
And then it all came down to Brandon coming off the rig for the last rep.
1-0 here in this event for the world team.
I tell you what, that changes, I don't want to say that changes everything.
That is big for the world. That's a huge win for Sayer Kaya.
Now what this does is that we looked at some of the head-to-head matchups here. You got Tia-Clair Toomey versus Ariel Lowen on the last one. Tia should have the nod there on paper. Guy, should have the nod on paper. You're putting his 2 best strengths together, and that's gymnastics and pure weightlifting. But the question was, where are they going to get that 3rd win between them? So Danielle Brandon, and that was just fatigue. Just fatigue on the end, and that might have been she just losing her grip, but she caught it really low on the bar. And Sayer Kaya on the last 2 barbells had to squat it. Brandon could catch her because she was powering them, but again, 1 little misstep is the difference between getting a point and losing a point for this particular event. And now the question comes down to, is that that one steal of a point gonna matter? Because say it comes to 3 and 3. Well, now what does it come down to? It comes down to a tiebreaker. And the tiebreaker for this is the collective total time for the team on there. So if everybody took a minute for Team World and North America 101, Team World would win because it took them 1 second less in total for the tiebreaker itself.
Well, next up, it's going to be Justin Medeiros taking on Aniel Akai. The first team to get to 4 wins here will win the event and pick up 1 point.
See the athletes warming up in the background. Power's the way to go, but as it gets heavier, and if there's any grip fatigue from the bar muscle-ups, that will affect your strength on the clean, because there's a reason why people hook grip when it comes to barbell cycling or weightlifting in general. Is the stronger the grip, the stronger you are through the pull. And that just is your body moving the bar in space. If that grip goes, it blunts your ability to be as powerful through the middle of the lift.
Pat Vellner, you just saw him hanging from the pull-up bar trying to help out Justin Medeiros getting some chalk on that thing.
I'll say the pressure's all on North America now. Right? Team World on paper wasn't expected to win this. We're like, all right, T and Guy, those are about as close as the lock as you can get. Obviously, we still got to play the game. It's not just what happens on paper. But Team North America can't have another loss.
No.
They can't have another loss. On paper, as it stands, is that if everything goes according to paper, you're tying this event. Now you got to be fast. Not only can you get the win, but you have to win quickly.
1 minute, athletes, 1 minute.
And Aniel Akai is not a slouch when it comes to speed and power.
Justin Medeiros and Aniel Akai will start with those 21 bar muscle-ups, and it's 5 barbells they need to clear starting at 245 pounds. They increase by 10 every time, and as you mentioned, now the pressure really on North America. Sayer Kaya absolutely stole a win for her team there.
And when you think about pressure in events that have a clean ladder in them, Justin Medeiros is the one man you want out on the floor next to get the momentum back. Because if you think about 2020, 2021 with the running clean ladder and what he did with Pat Vellner and Brent Fikowski both missing, and then he hits it. And then what we saw at the games this year repeats the same thing as Hatfield gets spit out the back on a heavy clean, and Justin Medeiros sneaks in again.
Matchup number 2, Danielle Lakai on the right, Justin Medeiros on the left, 21 bar muscle-ups to kick us off here. And I think Lakai got hit with an early no rep there.
I'm really not sure what it would have been for, and then his hand slipped off the bar.
There's a slip for Lakai.
Not just a slip too, Sean, even though he re-gripped, if your hand comes off the bar, that rep is not going to count, so he lost another rep.
Who's going to hang on to those bar muscle-ups? Hands are up for Medeiros.
Medeiros is inside 5 reps to go, so he has a pretty good lead right now on Danielle Lakai on this set of 21. Hand in the air now for Danielle Lakai's judge. So Medeiros is going to make his way to the 245-pound barbell first. And he will power clean that. Medeiros moving on to 255. Lakai is through his first barbell. 3 remain for Medeiros. He's on to 265 pounds now.
Lakai is trying to close the gap a little bit.
And now to 275. Lakai starting to creep up here. 285 final barbell. Justin Medeiros looking to win the matchup here. And he will miss the clean. Lakai has got it. And the world team is up 2-0.
I'm going to put that one on me, Sean.
I didn't see
I'm going to put that one on me.
From Chase Ingram, but this is huge for the world team. If you just looked at these matchups on paper, I don't think anybody would have had Sayar Kaya beating Danielle Brandon, and no disrespect to Danielle Lakai, but I think Justin Medeiros would have been the popular favorite. Now, he's still got to finish here, because remember the tiebreaker.
Oh, that's even the tiebreaker. I just forgot about the tiebreaker.
It's total time for your team.
Ooh, but oh my gosh. So Lakai on the right. Is that in reverse? Is that video? Yeah, this video is in reverse. This is really freaking me out. There we go. There we go. I've seen enough Instagram reels to know when a video is in reverse and people are trying to get clever.
But it looked like Justin Medeiros, because of the couple of miscues that Lakai had on the pull-up bar.
Yes.
He was going to get through that clean. As you mentioned, this is the guy you want out there for a clean ladder.
Oh my goodness.
Let's send it down to Bella Martin.
Danielle, that was one of the most flawless performances I've seen on the back half. The bar muscle-ups, where I thought you were going to get your lead early on. Didn't go the way I think we expect them to go. What did you have to do to beat Justin in that final barbell? What's going through your mind?
I mean, when I screwed up on the muscle-ups, I thought that I just lost. But then I saw Justin in the first rep, he was still struggling. And then I just knew like he was going to fail in the last one. And I just went all out. I was planning to squat the last one because I'm feeling comfortable with it. So, yeah, he got the trust talk before us, before the event. So he better have a better recovery for tomorrow so he's not tired and we will beat him again.
So you're going to beat him again. And y'all, you just had your rookie season at the CrossFit Games, and now you've just beat one of the fittest men on earth. Does it feel real yet that you're now in the mix with all the like of them?
Yeah, I feel one of the best athletes in the world. I'm proving it this weekend, and I'll prove it next year.
Saher, that was a beautiful performance. We weren't expecting it going into that barbell.
I like it was a 50-50 workout for me because barbell stuff give it bell bad. So I was like, okay, I'm doing the best. That's like, I know about this workout. You can put in, but I was the best. And yeah, I just did the lane, tried to, stay calm, and yeah, it went well.
Saher and y'all, congratulations, 2 for 2.
Seconds, athletes, 90 seconds.
Sayer Kaya and Annual Akai right now, heroes for the world team as they have put their squad up 2-0. First team to 4 takes the event. Up next, Alexis Raptis taking on Emma Tall, and now we'll start with 15 bar muscle-ups, and the weight goes up on the barbells.
Yeah, it does. I'm still trying to figure out what I just saw. Now the pressure's on. All the pressure's on. There, and not just that, but not only are you going to have to win, but you're going to have to win big because how long it took Justin to finish that event. Now, one thing to consider is that maybe North America ties this up, and so we went to the time tiebreaker. There's another piece of the puzzle here, is that if you don't get a lift, so say you can't get the barbell, it's a 30-second addition to the time cap for every rep you don't hit. So if there's a tie between 3 and 3, there's still potential of a lot of moving and shaking if one team versus the other can't finish the ladder.
So Alexis Raptis looking to get North America in the win column here in this event.
Stand by. Here we go, 15.
Emma Tall and Alexis Raptis in matchup number 3. World leads 2-0. So Alexis Raptis looking to cut into that momentum and just get her team back on track here. 15 bar muscle-ups.
One thing for Emma Tall is that she's so good at upper body pulling, but at the same time, she hasn't done as many events as Raptis has done coming into this event, so she's a bit more fresh than, say, Raptis has been, who did that gymnastics event to start the night off.
And the two of them are dead even. Raptis off the bar first. 175 to begin. Raptis hits that. Here comes Emma Tall right behind her. Tall, no problem on that. Now to 180.
the problem that is currently facing Team North America outside of him time has been so slow for us. Madeira sitting that final bar.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 15, Ken Adler, keep North on. Right behind him. Adler. To 1. 90 seconds.
Go, Ariel.
3-1, Josh, for this event. What's your pick? For everyone down at the time. I'm kidding, we're gonna find it out. This is gonna be exciting. We'll see finish it off. Oh, Ariel, keep North America alive with less than a minute. We're about to find out. Let's get our feet. Huntington Beach.
In here, it's good for in here.
I mean, I knew I could beat it. I thought I'd beat it by more.
30 seconds, ladies. 30 seconds. Ten seconds.
Let's go, come on!
Stand by.
Not alone on this one.
Four reps to go. For Tia, Ariel alone with one more reps to go. It's Tia to the first one behind her, Ariel alone. Tia, again at the ball, 190 clear. Sitting goes for the bullet. 195 for Tia. 195 for the bullet. Tia. Tia-Clair Toomey getting another point for TYR. Official, we'll find out here in a moment. Next, the gentleman for the final round of the night. This one's personal with Jim Pepper and Miles. Friendly competition. For a victory for North America. Either way, your time going into that final day of competition will make it oh so interesting.